Hi, and welcome to my eclectic kitchen. Well, actually it's my eclectic backyard today, but that's because we're going to do some no-cook cooking because I want to get you out of the kitchen and into the great outdoors. So we're going to prepare a dish called ceviche, and this is a traditional Latin American dish, which very foundations of it are really good vegetables, hot peppers, citric juice, and we have this fish. This is a beautiful fillet of, in this case, Michigan fish. This is a whitefish fillet that I picked up this morning at D&W Fresh Market. They have a fantastic supply there. This is a fish that comes from either Lake Huron or sometimes Lake Superior. And in this case, I believe it was Lake Huron. So one of the things you want to do, first of all, when you're preparing this dish, is make sure that it's completely pin boned, and then check for smaller bones by just running your hand along the fillet. And if you do find one, like that one right there, this little tiny bone, you just take it, put it aside, throw it away, obviously. But you probably won't find very many because they do a really good job. Now, this fish needs to be skinned, and you can ask your fishmonger to take care of that for you. Or if you'd like to try it out, we're going to show you how you can skin it yourself. It's not very difficult. It just takes a decent knife. What you're going to do with this fillet is you're going to cut into it until you get to the skin. And you will see a little bit of the fat, red meat right before the skin, so be careful. And then you're simply going to take your knife and you're going to pull the skin. It's a little slippery. And you're going to keep going, and you can see that it's separating from the skin. So you're going to flip it over like this and continue on. Sometimes you might lose a little bit of it, but that's okay. You can always go back and get it again. So you're going to take your fish and you're going to cut it up very small because the acid needs to get to all the surfaces. So you want to have a lot of surface area. So what I like to do is cut my fillet in about a 1/2 inch strip in one direction. Now I am using my chef's knife because this is where it is effective. And once you have it done in one direction, you're going to do it in the other. So once you have it done in one direction, then you just simply cut in the other in about 1/2 inch pieces. This isn't a rocket science dish. It's actually very simple. We're going to take this and put it into our bowl. Okay, and I'm just going to move this over, get my cloth, set down my knife, give my hands a little wipe. Do make sure that you use good hygiene when you're prepping any kind of food. So the next thing we're going to do is do our marinade. And here I have about a 1/2 cup of freshly squeezed lime juice. Nothing else on earth like it. You can't fake it. I guess you can if you really want to, if you're in a big hurry. But if you can, get your limes, heat them up in the microwave for about 20-30 seconds. You'll need about 6 of them if they're this small, about 4 if they're a lot larger. You're going to cut them in half, and then you're going to squeeze them out because that heat is going to help to break down and loosen up those juices so you get as much as possible out of it. So we have fresh lime juice, and then your second choice can either be orange juice, or what I like is bitter orange. And this is actually Seville orange juice. It's known as Naranja Agria, and you can get this in a Latin American grocery store. Or another option is this that I have decided to use, Mojo Criollo, which is a marinade that's typically used for fish and beef and pork. But in this dish, it just worked out really well. So we need about 3/4 of a cup of this. So that's going to put us at about 1 1/4 cups. And then we're going to add some apple cider vinegar. I like the fruitiness from this. Add some great flavor. We're going to pour this over our fish. So we're going to let that sit. Then we're going to add all our vegetables. And first I'm going to talk a little bit about what we have here. And there's a little bit of a selection of peppers. Now, peppers vary in their heat. And I chose a couple of different peppers at different levels of heat so that I had a little bit of variance. So in this case, I have a poblano pepper, which is about medium heat. I have a jalapeno pepper, which is a little bit hotter, and I have a Hungarian yellow, which is a little bit hotter even still. Then, of course, I have over here a yellow pepper, which is sweet. So that's not going to add heat to your dish. So what you got to do is decide how much heat you want. In my case, I used the entire poblano. And then I used about a half of a jalapeno. I like my heat, but you know, I'm not one of those people who likes to breathe fire. It's just not my thing. Then I'm going to add this onion, and this is called a sweet onion. It's a Vidalia. But don't let anybody fool you, because sweet onions, that doesn't mean that they have a lot more sugar in them. All it means is that they're less acidic. Fresh herbs are just infinitely better than dried herbs. And what I have is about half a cup of freshly minced cilantro. You cannot replace that. It does not keep very well, so you have to really have it fresh. I picked this up this morning. And then a couple of tablespoons, 3 tablespoons of minced parsley. So we're going to mix that in. Now you can see already that the fish is starting to turn white, and this is an indication that the acid is cooking it. So what you're going to need to do is take your dish and cover it up, put it in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours. You can leave it overnight, and because the fish is so tender, it's just going to cook up for you really nicely without ever having to turn on a stove. So because I know how fresh this fish is, I am even willing to have some right now because I love sushi, so I have no fear when it comes to this. And I know my fishmonger, she got it for me this morning, freshly delivered. Mmm. Mmm. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.